Yes, I did indeed become a soggy for this cash cup, at least in terms of spatial awareness. My positioning was off the walls for this tournament, and I honestly think I could have got 100 points if something super unfortunate didn't happen in one of my last games. So, rather than just make this a story type video, I want to give y'all some educational insight. My positioning in this tourney was superb, hence the spatial awareness. So, along with the story, I wanted to drop some tips I did to help me qualify for this tournament so easily. Without further ado, this was my game 1. First thing I want to point out that I did is rotating early. Note there are still 2 minutes and 20 seconds before the first zone starts pulling. Despite that, I'm already out of my drop with decent mats. This allows me a chance to get easy positioning for future zones and get ahead of everybody and not get fought as they are still looting. So if you want to make an easy rotate for placement without getting fought, get out of your drop early. Nothing happened in mid game, so I'm gonna skip straight to 6th zone. This is where half of the zone is covered in storm and the other half isn't. Always rotate to the half that is covered in zone. This guarantees you a pretty much free dead side rotate for the next zone and just makes life easier. As you can see here, it made my 7th zone rotate easy. There is nobody around me, and I'm doing the same thing. Do the same thing for the 6th and 7th zone, and you will be chilling in the cash cup. Enough of all that educational stuff. Let's get to the eyes glowing part. Let's get serious. This is how my first endgame went. I'm not going to lie to you guys. If I had more mats, I could have easily won that game, but I will take a 2nd place. Game 2, I wanted to ensure I got points, so I sat in a bush for most of the time. I intentionally did this in the jungle terrain so I could rotate to future zones faster and have solid protection. Next zone pulled, and let's just say I had a free rotate. As you can see, people all are around me, but I'm able to use cover like trees and below mountains to get to zone easy. When I rotate to the next bush in the jungle terrain, I put a wood stair over it. Yes, you could say this is to check the bush, but it is also to provide me with protection. If there is a wood stair over a bush, other players are going to think that bush has been checked already and therefore there is nobody in it. So if you want to ensure yourself easy placement, just place a wood stair over a bush. I repeat this strategy once again with a bush on elevation, putting a stair through it so nobody checks it. And to no one's shock, it works again. Habits don't change, and they definitely didn't for this victory cup. For 6th zone, once again, I rotated to the part of circle covered in storm in order to give me free dead side. I'm gonna fast forward a bit and note that nobody is on this part of dead side. When you do this rotate, you are usually the only person in the lobby doing it. Whoa, there's this guy, but I mean, that's 2 players out of 22 players in the lobby. What is the risk? I'm not gonna lie, with this dead side rotate, on a side note, I got extremely lucky. Zone pulled right onto my catch, so I was going into endgame with slurps. I had to do at least somewhat decent. Now, it was time for the endgame. Could I prevail or would I flop and get 15th place? Let's see. Yikes. On top of not getting the refresh from the guy I got low, I lose a 50-50 that should have been so freaking easy. This should have been a 60-point game, but I guess I'll take that. In game 3, I died instantly, so let's get into game 4. Like I said earlier, habits don't change. I'm once again using the jungle terrain to get easy rotates. And on top of that, this is the same area I went to earlier. Having a set rotation game plan is something that will benefit you greatly in any game mode, and honestly something I should look into. So if you can, rotate to specific spots on certain zone pools, like say, if zone pulls jungle, I go here all the time. If it pulls down, I go somewhere. Just have set guaranteed rotates for your 1st to 4th zone, and you'll be fine. Does this bush look familiar? I wonder why. No way, maybe it is. Watch me do the wood stair thing again, and I'm pretty much chilling once again for endgame. Third time, and I am still rotating to the part of circle in zone. If you need to during this time, it is okay to tank some storm. This is to make your rotate easier and make sure people don't look at you. Skipping ahead, I want to give a note to y'all. Don't force the rotate if you don't need to. Here I get beamed and I'm okay with settling here. This is where I stop. If I'm to rotate further, I could risk losing more HP, so if you get beamed on the dead side rotate, it's fine to sit back. It's fine to sit back a little bit in zone, don't worry about it. 7th zone, I rotated to dead side, but this was actually kind of a mistake. Dead side was on the low ground of zone, as everybody else was on that mountain terrain you see to the left. And I was pretty much the only person low ground. The risk here is if I rotate up, I'm at a great chance of getting held by the players above me, as I'm the only one on low ground, which somewhat happens here. Yes, I could have blocked my head, but I also could have been in a better position just in case zone pulled up. With that being said, this was the third endgame I made it to, and it was time to see if I could capitalize. Yeah, in retrospect, I have no idea how I made it that far, but just like that, we were pretty much qualified in 3 games. Like I said, my positioning was crazy this Cash Cup. Now, remember at the beginning of the video how I said I should have got at least 100 points? This was why I didn't. Remind me to never use soaring sprints again. Yeah, since nothing happened in finals, here's a quick bonus clip of a pretty cool elim I got off spawn. Pretty much the only thing interesting about my game 6. If nobody got me, business turret does. And that is all I got for this video. If you made it this far, I hope you learned something new, and I want to see some of y'all qualifying for the Solo Victory Cup. Come on, let's push, let's do this, let's represent mobile and the Percep community. And that is all I got. It's Solo Victory Cup day today. Let's be great out there. Peace.